Hello everyone, what's happening? We've got a big week here. What's happening? Trump has just announced the Golden Dome yesterday. Now you must know when anything is ever announced, it means it's already done. They're not going to just now start building it. I think that dome is already done. And my friend Sarge from Icons, who's a Marine in the US and who has a lot of deep military connections, reckons that this dome is not just for the US but the entire world. In other words, all 7 continents. We all know there's been rumors that the firmament is gone. It's only sort of in place holographically, or it's an illusion, somewhere in between those two. Now this golden dome is supposedly going to be protecting Earth. More than likely it's more a frequency dome, but certainly not what it used to be in terms of keeping us in a frequency cage. Sorry. I've got a little bit of flu, so I'm a little bit slow today. It's a frequency cage, so it keeps us in a lower dimensional state. It prevented Earth from organically evolving into higher realms. We are, one of the very few planets that are left that are in 3D, and we're about to, go into 5D, which is the good news. Some of us are already in there. It's more of a perception. It's not a place. It's more of a perception and a behavior, and your own physical frequency will determine whether you're in 3 or 5D. It's not a choice that you can make tomorrow. You have to work on that. You've got to actually raise the frequency of your whole body. So this golden dome is very interesting, and perhaps also just to give the enemies a message that they don't have many cards left, if I have to use that analogy that Trump's been using with Zelensky and co. Today is also a big day because Trump is meeting with the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, and I'm seeing so much dribble on Facebook about this meeting. People writing essays. They're completely missing the point. But no judgment. Each on their own. They have their own path to walk. But it's just such an enormous waste of time talking about all of this when there is something much bigger happening in the background. And more importantly, these deals are already done when we're at this stage. Okay, these are just the optical show and tell for the public, because some of the meetings will be in front of the cameras, other ones will be behind closed doors. The interesting thing is that billionaire businessman Johan Rupert will be with him. Also, Johan Steenhuisen, which is the leader of the opposition party of the ANC, but his partner in the GNU. So I'm just giggling because if you know what you know, if you know what's really going on, Jan Rupert is basically running South Africa. You can look at it at the incorporation papers of SA Inc. And yes, that is the corporation masquerading as a government that has been at the helm of running this country into the ground. And it's not an organic republic. It's rather a usurp of a organic republic by a private corporation with private shareholders and board members. It's private. So is the Reserve Bank, so is all the central banks around the world. But I know you guys know all of that, So it's fitting for me that he's going to the meeting because if he's running the country, he should be given the marching orders, right? Because the cabal is no longer going to be allowed to reign on this planet. And in fact, in most cases, they're already gone. There's maybe a few minions left running around that didn't get the instructions that the game is over. But I can tell you, for the most part, most of the guys in charge, if not all, is gone. So what we're seeing right now is a movie playing out for the public. As Trump has repeatedly said, what do you need for a great movie? Great actors. So there's a lot of actors around the world that are playing different parts, that are not the real person or the real leader or the real politician or, anymore. And so we see all this drama playing out worldwide, and I'm getting less and less interested in it, to be honest, because I know how this movie ends, and you should too. Don't be distracted by all this nonsense playing out. Really, it's just absolute nonsense. And the dribble that I see on Facebook, I have to just bite my tongue, because I know some of these articles are written by AI, I assume they are, but they're the biggest load of BS, and it's actually hard to watch. So as I said, I'm just tuning out of Facebook, but I'm keeping half an eye there, because I feel somehow I have something to do there, something to help people with. But right now I can't help the sleepers. I don't have the patience, unfortunately. So at this stage of the game, I'm only observing for the most part, throwing a few little seeds out to see if any of them will germinate, but very much playing a background role on Facebook and Instagram at this stage. I'm heavily censored, of course, as well, so my posts don't really reach anyone anyway. They just bury it. No one will see it unless they actually physically go to my page. Yes. And the stories as well. As soon as I post a personal pic of making a fire, and I get so many viewers, and then I post a truth that I really want people to know about, and I'm getting 1 viewer. So that should tell you a lot, right? Yeah. So anyway, I want to remind you not to get distracted by all the nonsense, all the drama. All the world's a stage at this stage, and I know how this movie ends. You know how this movie ends. So why waste your time with all the drama we see playing out right now? We have a much more important task at hand. We have to prepare the terrain for New Earth, and that's what we need to start anchoring in. You're far more valuable, literally working on your own evolution, raising your own vibration, developing your own consciousness, than you are fighting on these silly platforms about silly drama. So this is just a reminder that we have bigger things to do. You may not think it's that effective, but believe me, it's very, very effective, because you're basically affecting the quantum field. If you don't yet, you need to study how our reality is created. Everything is pulled out of the quantum field, basically, okay? And we are the ones that are anchoring that in with our thoughts, with our emotions and our actions. I keep talking about this, but I will keep talking about it until everyone gets it. So, if there's anyone that flood your feed or your inbox with doomsday news, negative news, fear porn, anything inflammatory that is not going to further this cause, you should just stay away from that, because that's going to damage what we are doing here on Earth.